Hi, it is Jan Beta, and today I have something a little bit more audio related for you. And it's the kind of semi-professional audio thing I used to work with in my days as an audio engineer. This is pretty heavy. It's a small PA amplifier. So this is the stuff you would hang your public address, your loudspeakers for a concert or something. This comes from a rehearsal space of a coworker of mine. So it works, but one channel isn't working anymore. So I suspect that one side of the transistors are broken, which are responsible for the amplification. So I think this is a 600 watt unit. And if the model number is anything to go by, it's GSA 600J. J for Jan, of course. Red Beat Audio, don't know anything about them. Doesn't appear to be a very high-end thingo. It's pretty well made, but nothing fancy. It's probably some rather cheap amplifier. I fixed quite a few of these actually working as an audio guy, because they regularly fail, of course, because they are under such high stress and they are constantly been shaken and hurled around and stuff like that, because they are basically made to be taken on the road. Sometimes they break, and usually what breaks is the amplifier stage, which is the transistors, the big power transistors, because they get pretty warm. So all in all, this seems to be a pretty basic unit. This seems to be our power supply section. There is some loudness potentiometers here. There's our outputs, and this is our power amp section with the large transistors. There are 4 of them. I think this is a heatsink. There's a little fan, a huge toroidal transformer. You need a lot of wattage, obviously, to put out 600 watts amplified sound. So you need toroidal transformers. Are usually a bit more efficient than the wound ones. What are they called? The normal regular transformers. These are basically a ring, and the wires wound around there, and they are usually a bit more efficient, and they tend to vibrate less and stuff like that. So if you find a hi-fi amplifier that has a toroidal transformer in it, it's most likely pretty good quality. Yeah, I actually did a while back, it was an unknown to me, at least, brand. I'm going to link that video in here, that I found on the side of the street, and it was quite a good amplifier that I gave away to another co-worker. So these are the transistors. I suspect there's another 4 transistors under there. So I think first thing I want to do is to take this whole thing out and have a look. So this seems to be screwed in from the bottom side there. So turning this around. Yeah, I think it's these screws that are holding our heatsink in place. Supposedly. Yes, I think so. So I'm just gonna unscrew these. Let's see what I get. This is a pretty neat shape, basically, by the way, for something that has been living in a rehearsal space. See much worse. Also from my own band I used to play in. Okay, and I can feel the heatsink coming loose. Good thing I held it in place. Okay, maybe I might be able to work on this while. Yeah, I think so. So there's another bunch of capacitors there. So I don't think you can see it, but these are 2SC5200, and the other ones are 2SA1943, which is a classical combination of, I think these are the NPN and these are the PNP transistors. So this is a class AB classical amplifier, it seems, where one side of the transistors are amplifying one half wave and the other are amplifying the other half wave, so you get double the power, which is a very, very common design, commonly used in hi-fi amps and power amps like this one. Yeah, all the time. It's the most common design. So it's obviously 4 transistors on each side, 2 for each channel of each kind. I think these are rated at 150 watts. If I find a data sheet, I'm gonna put this here through the magic of video editing. I think these are rated at 150 watts each, which makes this 600 watts. Yay! So this is a 600 watts amplifier, I guess. Yeah, let's get rid of the dust. And what I usually do as a quick test is to put the meter into the beeper and see if there's any shorts there, which there aren't on this side. So these seem to be alright, I guess. Maybe I should test this before I draw any conclusions. I think I'll give this a test run. So I am connecting this up here. Should figure out. I don't have my speak on cables, which this normally takes for the outputs, but I'm just gonna clip on my oscilloscope leads there, just to determine which is ground here. So the sideways thingos there are ground. There's going to be a lot of energy flowing through this, so I'm going to be pretty careful about this, I guess. So this is ground, and this is my hot. So as long as we don't short out anything. Got the power turned down low. Okay, so I'm going to connect this. So we should be hot now. Connect this to an FI switch. Okay, turn this on, see. Okay, the fan works. The relay clicks, which is the protection relay for the speakers that are obviously not connected at the moment. I'll turn on the scope. And I'm going to feed in some audio signal. So I'm just going to turn this off for now. So it didn't blow up, which is a good sign, I guess. And I'm going to feed in a sine wave from my phone here. So and this is the right channel, and it looks like a sine wave to me. This is the output. Gonna turn it up a bit. Yeah, this looks like a nice, pretty stable sine wave to me. So this is the working channel, I guess. So I'm going to turn this off and try the other channel. Okay. Got the other channel hooked up. Starting the sine wave generator here. Sound check. And I'm turning on the machine here. So relay should click. There it clicks. And there's our sine wave. Yeah, so this seems to work actually. Both channels seem to work fine. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was just a loose contact or something that I fixed. I think I'm going to redo some solder joints. This seems to be perfectly working. The volume knob seems to be a bit dusty. Maybe I could put some contact cleaner in there. But otherwise this seems to work. So I'm just going to redo some solder joints and yeah, do the usual stuff, I think. Usual kind of maintenance. And then this should be fine. Didn't even think it was really broken. Maybe there was a cable, a loose cable. There was a little plug that was loose when I got this. It might be that this plug was responsible. So I don't really know if you can see this, but I tried to position the light in a way so that you maybe can. There's our little cable coming from the volume knob, which is here for the right channel. And it is going, makes a little curve here, and is going here, which is the input to the amplifier board. And yeah, I think it was just this plug that was loose. The transistors seem to be alright. So I'm going to redo some solder joints and clean the potentiometers up. And then that's that, I guess. So I bought a big can of this contact cleaner I use a lot this time. I used to have a smaller size of can, but now I have the 400 milliliter can because I'm going to use it up anyway. Highly recommend this stuff. Teslanol contact and tuner spray. I think it's difficult to get this outside of Europe, I guess. This is a German product. But if you are somewhere in America or in Canada, Deoxit seems to be the stuff you are looking for. Deoxit seems to be a very similar product. It doesn't, you can spray it, which I'm doing at the moment, into potentiometers and plugs and everything, all the connections, and yeah, basically it doesn't dissolve plastics or anything really. It's really, really good stuff, and it cleans the contacts pretty nicely. So usually I spray it in there, find some cavity, and then turn it and turn it and turn it and turn it some more. So this might just be the fix. I'm going to redo some of the solder joints there, I think. Okay, so I think I'm going to reassemble this and yeah, put this back in and then test some more. It's a bit funny how they secured all the screws with some Loctite, some glue kind stuff, but not the actual connections to the board there, which is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I should call this bad design, but obviously this little plug came loose, and yeah, the screws didn't come loose. So maybe it would have been a good idea to glue the little plug in place too. And I'm going to resolder the connections back here as far as I can reach them. Might be crack there because they are under constant stress. So here's what I do. I heat up the pin and add some new solder to have some new flux. And I could, of course, remove all the old solder and redo it properly, but usually just reflowing it is enough. So, alright, doing this again on the right channel here. Okay, so this should be connected. Starting my tone generator here. Okay, tone generator started. And there we go. That's a clean sine wave. You probably can't see it from there. Yeah, perfectly clean. Perfectly clean sine wave. And no oscillation whatsoever. As far as I can see. Yeah, that's perfectly clean. Okay, so that's probably fixed. That was kind of easy. I think it was just the little plug that was loose, so the one channel wouldn't work. So I'm totally running my Miles Davis test again, which I usually play back Miles Davis while testing these things. Don't know why, really. So here's some Miles Davis for all of you to enjoy. This looks a bit like heavy metal. So I decided to hook up some little test speakers there. They are, of course, they are no PA, and I didn't even get my cables out. I soldered on the connections there from the inside, so I can test it with some speakers connected. Yeah, it's a pretty crude way, but I think it's nice to hear what comes out of this, even though it's only at very low voltage. So I still have some Miles Davis playing here. I hope I don't blow up the speakers here. If I turn it up a bit. Oh, there we are. So it totally seems to work. Doesn't sound great, but it's a PA after all. Let's see if I can find something that's not protected by anything. So for testing this, I am going to play some Turumba TV. Who is basically he's a friend of mine, and he deserves far more subscribers. He has 672. He basically works his off making videos about Total War, Warhammer. He's a gaming streamer and YouTuber, and he's a pretty nice guy and helped me a lot with moving to the new flat and stuff like that. If I had one wish, I'd wish for people to go over to him, give him some thumbs up, give him some subscriptions, and check out his stuff. Just do that. And I'm gonna play some of his stuff here as a sound check. Yeah, it totally works.
Hey you guys, what is that? So bad news for at least one person. Reason for that
I'm gonna
is,
link Turumba TV in below, I
basically
guess. So that's Turumba. Highly recommend checking him out. Give him some clicks and tell him I sent you. So I'm gonna test this a while and report back if anything strange occurs. But for now, I am pretty convinced this is fixed. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you liked this. If you want to support me, there are ways to support me on Patreon, which I'm gonna link in the corner here. So yeah, so much for now. Hope you like this. Click the little thumb or the other thumb if you want to. Click the subscribe button. Hope to see you again on this channel sometime. I'm Jan Beta. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.